Jarring headlines of the influential, moneyed, powerful individuals who had to part with substantial amounts of their wealth following grueling divorce battles. Here in Kenya, these high-profile divorce cases often dominate the narrative on how matrimonial property is divided once a marriage is dissolved.
I said 200, maybe I can just have the state just say, okay, I can just do it 400,000. That's all.
I can tell you without fear of contradiction, getting a huge figure in this in our country's courts is not the normal thing.
Despite a decade of enacting laws to ensure equality of spouses in marriage and fair distribution of matrimonial property, making it a reality in most cases has been futile, with women often getting conservative portions. This report, co-authored by FIDA and the Human Rights Watch, looked at over 50 divorce and matrimonial division cases between 2014 and 2019. It revealed how women are victims of discriminatory distribution of matrimonial property in Kenya.
We realize that a lot of the women who come to seek legal aid at FIDA Kenya either have not formalized their unions. They are either in come-we-stay situations that, according to them, they consider them to be, marriages, and then or a majority are also in customary unions.
This would often pose a headache when dividing matrimonial property, as one of the requirements would be to prove there was a marriage. In addition, a judge would look at how matrimonial property was registered and how each spouse contributed, either monetarily or non-monetarily. Under the Matrimonial Property Act, both monetary and non-monetary contributions are defined as domestic work and management of the matrimonial home, childcare, companionship, management of family business or property, and farm work.
A lot of women, a majority of our clients, engage in unpaid care work. So that means, they take care of children, they clean the homes, they provide companionship, and then the husbands are the ones who, bring home the bacon. So when it comes to litigation, it becomes a problem because, people don't get into unions and thinking that at one point, this marriage would break down and therefore I need to keep receipts.
Now, lawyers and women who were interviewed in the report say the insistence to present receipts as evidence of contribution to lay claim of matrimonial property discourages a lot of women. Besides, very few people actually hold records or receipts of smaller purchases apart from maybe land, real estate, or vehicles. And the fact is, even if someone was to have receipts, do they know how to properly preserve them over the course of a marriage to present as evidence in a court of law? But even if a contribution is defined and receipts are provided, the issue is quantifying it. That is where the conundrum comes in for most judges. As Justice Mule Mutuku says, there is no uniformity across the decisions made by the High Court and appellate courts when it comes to determining the value of non-monetary contributions. Clear provisions on valuing and weighting non-monetary contributions has been something groups like FIDA and Human Rights Watch have been advocating for to help women like Fatuma M., not her real name. She is a 47-year-old Muslim woman and mother of 5 in Kilifi. She describes the life she built with her ex-husband and the night she lost it all.
Tulikuwa na mali ya kutosha. Tulijenga na kukarabati nyumba yetu iliyokuwa ya tope, sasa iwe ya mawe. Added 7 bedrooms, a kitchen, bathroom, toilet, a dugout well, and pump. We even sold water from the well and used it for crops. We also built 6 shops and 4 living quarters that were rented out. and an additional 3-bedroom house. My husband one day got tired of me and kicked me out. I lost a lot that night. I became homeless and lost access to income from the property I had developed. And I still must pay back. Na ni lazima nilipe mkopo wa shilingi 1.5 milioni niliotumia kujenga nyumba hiyo, ambayo sasa mume wangu wa zamani anaishi na mke mwingine.
Having a minimal awareness of their rights is just part of the problem. Many women who marry from disenfranchised backgrounds have inadequate access to relevant information that would ensure an equitable process. The unspoken, unwritten power of culture perhaps poses the biggest obstacle to women seeking justice in divorce proceedings. From patriarchal beliefs and attitudes to customary laws and religious traditions appear to prevail over the law of the land.
Till death do us part.
Claiming matrimonial property after the death of a spouse is one of the scenarios in which women see the adverse manifestation of culture. In fact, all widows the Human Rights Watch interviewed in the report had been dispossessed of matrimonial property by relatives of their husbands.
In most of our communities, you find the brothers and the sisters, jumping, the queue and, disinheriting the woman. And in most cases, you'd find that the women who are being evicted or being disinherited, either they're not aware that there's a law that protects them, or they come from poor backgrounds and therefore, power dynamics.
Experts say despite all the progress and existent legal framework represents on paper, the implementation challenges will continue to frustrate the quest for equality in the division of matrimonial property in Kenya.
There's no way we can have a progressive constitution like this that even allows for the application of international treaties and conventions. We can have a progressive act like this and we don't breathe life into them. We will not have assisted our society one bit to move from where they were.